my thoughts for this practice today were friendly and focused. I was just trying to think about what do people need in these current times, not particularly easy times. So yeah, I just thought, friends, the support that we get from friends is very nourishing and and something that we all need, obviously, in our lives, because I think friends in some ways can be extra special. They can challenge you nicely in some ways sometimes, but they tend to be very understanding and there when we need them, just like a yoga practice. So let's take the qualities of what we get from friends and put it into our practice today. I'm just looking at, change my light because it's a bit dark. There we go. Yeah, especially when you're practicing alone, for instance, at home, you might be a bit in need of certain qualities. But I believe that we can bring these into our practice when we need it in certain ways. So today is about, it's going to be slow, it's going to be very soothing, it's going to be nurturing, like you've got a friend practicing right next to you. So I thought if you do have a bolster or cushions or anything like that, it would be nice to have one end, the head end, elevated if possible. If you don't have blocks or anything like that, you could, have a couple of cushions and then an extra cushion at the head. Same thing, but just constructed slightly differently. So the concept of this is we're going to start with our back resting on the bolster, really to go with the phrase, that your friends have your back. Yeah, they have your back. So bring the lower back to that edge of the bolster. Use your hands at the side. Keep your chest lifted. This is really important because this isn't like leaning back into your sofa. It's leaning into a yoga prop, which is different, and it needs to support our long spine. So as we go back, keep the chest lifted, keep going back, and then let the upper back come to the bolster. If you don't have any bolster or anything, it really doesn't matter. You can do the same, lay on the floor, maybe prop something underneath your head, but really let your body be supported. Now your legs, in no particular order, you can either have them crossed, if that suits you. You could have them straight. You could have them wide apart. It's what feels comfortable, okay? So give your body time to receive the support. When we're very independent people, I'm looking who I have here in the studio and you guys at home, we're all very independent people. It can be difficult to receive support, hard to take it. So we'll just begin by sensing where you feel the support being given. It might be lower back, it might be the ribs, it could even be the upper shoulders, the neck, and the head. So I've mentioned all those parts of your body. And there may be one particular part, one particular section of your back or your head that really really likes the support, really receives the support. So to give you an idea of how, for instance, my body receives the support, it lets me breathe better. For me, it's very much around in between the shoulder blades. So I'm really noticing my breath in that space. And every breath, now and again, I feel invited to take a deeper breath in. So we let ourselves be held. We let ourselves receive support. And that may mean that you have to let your muscles settle a little bit more. You may feel a little bit heavier when you relax your muscles because they're not holding your bones so much. So you drop away some things within yourself to receive more for yourself from another direction. So just let your breath come and go. If you like breathing in and out through your nose, you can do that. Or it could be in through your nose and out through your mouth. That's a really nice way to release so that you receive again on the in-breath. So some people, I observe this a lot in my teaching, that some people receive really easily and others, we find it hard. We're not so comfortable with receiving support, so we can use our practice to help us to get used to the feelings, the sensations of receiving assistance and help. So if it feels uncomfortable not in a physical way, a bit more of a mental or emotional way, you could do something like have your eyes open and just gaze towards your ceiling. And continue to watch your breath. Notice how your body relaxes. And notice when and if and when, your body wants to resist that. And you just stay with it. You just give yourself the time and the space to just come into a nurturing feeling. So if you had your legs crossed, let's bring the knees bent and the feet on the ground. And if you had your legs straight, also bend your knees, put your feet on the ground. And we're just going to send the knees left and right, little by little, breathing in the middle, breathe out as you go one way. And it brings the back into a slightly different position. We're easing off the spine on one side, leaning a bit more to the other side. So next time you go over to the right, if you could go all the way over, and then just use your left hand to roll the bolster off your mat. And we're going to go back down onto our backs. So if you would like support for your head, by all means, bring that in. Because we're going to come to the neck now and just move the head a little bit side to side. So you could have your eyes open or closed, really up to you. So breathe in the middle, breathe out as you turn your head away. In through the center, out as you turn your head the other way. So again, you can view this if you like, if it works for you. The inhale obviously is receiving something new. The exhale is releasing and letting go. So when you turn your head to the side, that's your opportunity to let tension, stress, whatever, just leave. And it might be physical. Literally might be that your neck is tight, your shoulders are tight, or it could be emotional, mental. Okay, back through the center. Bring in one knee towards your shoulder, the other knee to the other shoulder, and just squeezing those knees towards you so that your lower back is really on the floor, your tail is lifted. I think it's quite nice here not to have the knees close together because you'll be able to bring your pelvis up a little bit here when you do that. So let's go in and out with the breath. So as you inhale, let the knees go away from you. Exhale, really bring them in. Out through the mouth if you need to. Back out again, full breath. Exhale. So we'll do 3 more, really at your own pace. And I think when you're inviting support in, you're open-armed to this. You need time. The poses need to be slow. It's because your nervous system likes to receive things in a slow manner. Okay, so we'll bring the hands over the tops of our knees and just let your legs fall away and your arms will be the support here. So literally, this is actually quite hard. Well, I find it hard anyway, maybe it's just me. But with the arms completely straight, so the elbows are not bent, your knees are further away from you. Try and relax the legs completely. This is what I find difficult, but the arms are going to do the work. So we're going to circle the knees. Now, normally we do this from the hip joint, and we're going to do it today through your arms, just so you get that opportunity to allow something else to support you. So literally with your arms and your hands cupped over your knees, begin to make circular movements with your knees. So my legs feel quite heavy. I can really notice how my hip joints are working. In a way, you can be in the process much more observing rather than doing. And of course, 2 parts to your breath in this movement. It could be inhale as the knees come to you, exhale as the knees go away. Still going in the same direction. Just gather information here. Really notice how, for me, my hips, my legs, they really want to take over. And I'm really having to, communicate with my arms to do the work. One more in this direction. And then take a moment, release the hands, let the feet go to the floor, knees knock together. And relax. So just let that whole of that support drop deep into your body. So if you are a visual person, you like visualization, you could, literally picture a friend that is a great support to you. Notice the features on their face. When you see a friend and they literally turn up, and the smile that is kind of instant on their face when they see you. Picture that whilst you're laying here, letting everything settle in the body. So we're trying to almost trick the body, trick the mind into you providing support for yourself in the way that we receive it well from good friends. So let's go in the other direction. So again, knees come in, arms are straight, elbows are not bent, and we relax the legs and your arms do the movement. So you've got to go the other way now. Bringing in the breath pattern when you're ready. And really noticing when you want to kind of take over. So you're being really focused here about how you practice, where the support is coming from. And then the last part is how you receive it. Slow and focused. Really mindful to just get what you need from your practice. I guess if you needed something more energetic, this isn't going to work for you today. But if you're willing to receive support and try and practice more slowly sometimes, it can be really nourishing. Okay, a couple more. Keep an eye on the legs, keep an eye on the pelvis, the hip sockets. Okay. And then slowly, feet to the ground. Again, bringing the knees together. If the visualization worked for you, you could pick the same friend, or it could be another friend, or just maybe somebody with a smiley face that you know. When you see them smile, it really lights you up. There's a lady in the village, she's got this amazing smile. She's got amazing skin. She's quite old, but her skin is super colorful and soft. And this smile that she projects sometimes It's just, the package is just there. It's perfect. It really lifts you up. So maybe sometimes it's not always a friend. It could be somebody that you don't really know, but there's qualities they have that really, really give you something. Okay, so we're going to put the the right calf on top of the left kneecap. So there's a point kind of quite high up in the calf muscle and a little bit to the outer edge where there's a trigger point there. And we could just allow the calf muscle to sit over the bony part, obviously, of your kneecap. And if you move around a little bit, you might notice you could rotate your ankle. You might notice that you occasionally come across that trigger point. So you might need to move your leg around a little bit on top of the kneecap until you find the trigger point. And then circling one way, and then circling your toes, your ankle the other way. Yeah, that's it. And then bring the hands around the back of your right thigh and bring that very close, or as much as you can, keeping your knee bent, towards your shoulder. Take it towards your right shoulder. Notice how you lean a bit more onto the right side of your back. You may notice that the left buttock is off the ground. That's fine. If you feel like you want to go further and you want to bring your hand to the right foot and really take the right knee to the ground into what is half baby pose, and if that gives you something in your hip, in the back of your leg, and go for it. Yeah, otherwise just keep the knee coming towards the shoulder. Now you can do a little bit of movement here, breathing in, breathing out, bringing in what really supports you. When we practice in this slow, focused manner, sometimes muscles and connective tissues are more receptive. So you might find that you can do things in this way that you perhaps don't normally do. I mean, I've nearly got my foot to the floor. If I would try to do that in a more vinyasa type practice, that I bet that wouldn't happen. So it's the nurturing effect. Yeah. Just the same as a friend. We say things with friends that we wouldn't perhaps to other people. And then bring that back. Knock your knees together again so that you can notice the changes, what's occurred in that process. Okay, and then we'll take that left calf muscle on top of your right kneecap this time, switching. And really trying to find that little tight trigger points of tight areas. So think about, when you're tight and tense, we're less open to receiving things. So if we can loosen mindfully some of these areas in the body, then we're in a better position to receive. So go one way with the foot and the ankle and the toes, and then the other way. Okay, and then bring the knee towards your shoulder, holding around the back of the thigh. Come in as much as you want or as little as you want. Notice that leaning a little bit. So you're asking the left side of your body to support here, to really help with drawing in close. And again, if you really wanted to do more, you can take hold of the foot, bring the knee a bit more towards the ground, and any kind of movement that you feel like you want to do. I think it's really nice when you find when you're open to going somewhere with movement in your practice that isn't fully directed by me. Let your body express what it needs. And then slowly bring that foot back. Knock your knees together. Let everything settle. Take that nourishment in. Feel every part of it. Using these quiet spaces to sense into your body, you're really bringing awareness to your felt sense. And I think these kind of techniques are very important for calming our nervous system, but having a gauge on our nervous system as well. So notice as I'm talking the sensations you had at the beginning, when you stopped, when you paused, are lessening. They start to fade. Now that's everything settling into your body. It's like your cells receiving all of that nourishment. And notice when you get to the final part. For me, there's a real sense when I allow myself to feel things like this all the way through to the end. I get to the end and I have this feeling of peace, like nothing's rushed, everything can go at its own pace. And I've received all of the last movements. Okay, so bring the feet underneath your knees now. We'll take the right foot onto the left thigh. So depending what's going on in your bodies at the moment, you know, you might have dodgy knees or dodgy lower back or whatever. This might just be where you want to be. You've got options always, as you know. The right hand could come on the inside thigh and gently invite the right leg to go further away from you. And try and keep, if this is what you're doing, try and keep your spine fairly straight here. Because if you go quite far, you'll end up arching to the right, yeah? Try and keep your spine fairly straight here. So that's one option. Another option is just to come onto the toes of the left foot and continue this thing with the right leg. Another option would be to put your hands through your legs and clasp hold of your left thigh. And you'll feel that more into your right hip, but you can still invite the right leg to move away from you through action, yeah, through muscle power. So choose which option works for you. And allow the breath to come and go, and notice you want somewhere in your body to soften, if you can, on the exhale. Bring in the help. Bring in the friend. Quite often we find when we do relax somewhere in the body, that's where we were tensing. And perhaps we didn't realize, or it's quite difficult to let it go. So you're a few breaths in now. So by all means, if you want to create movement, it could be side to side, it could be in and out. So let's have 2 more breaths. So when you release slowly, release in bits. Knock your knees together, let them touch. And notice, you go with the felt sense in your body for as long as you can. Watch it go deeper into your body. It's being soaked up. This is why it lessens and lessens in feeling. And is there somewhere at the end, and you might not even be at the end yet, you might still have residual feeling, okay? But at the end, is there a need to perhaps take a breath in and release it out through the mouth? That's it. And then we'll do the other side. So this will be the left foot on top of the right thigh. So you've got, it will be the left hand obviously now on the inside of the left thigh, pressing the leg away a little bit without changing the spine too much. It could be that you lift your right heel and you're on your right toes and still doing maybe the thing with the left thigh. Or you could go further and bring the right knee towards you, hands being used around the back of the thigh, and really just giving yourself time, you know, like a friend would. Literally, friends are just amazing because they give you so much. They're happy to sit across a table and hear you waffle. So this is that waffle moment. Let your body come into a place of acceptance. If you need movement. And if you had movement on the first side and you don't need it here, don't do it. If it doesn't need it, why provide it? See where the resistance is. Is it physical or is it emotional or mental? Sometimes we can't work this out. Sometimes it's really clear. Just be open to the support. What's required? That's why I say if movement isn't required here, don't do it. If it needs stillness, this side might need something different to the other side. And then 2 more breaths in the position that you're in. And then release slowly. Bringing your knees together, knocking them together again. And just like last time, if an out breath through the mouth is going to be useful for you, just bring it in. And it could be 1 breath, it could be 2 breaths, whatever. Have a good in-breath and then really let that lower pocket of air to be released from your lungs. So it might require a little bit of diaphragm effort, which will feel like your core's working, because it will be, but your diaphragm lifts inside your rib cage. Okay. Hopefully you've got to the end of the felt sense. So separate your knees, feet are underneath your knees, and just a little bit of side to side movement with your knees, just to let your hips come alive. Okay, and then preferably, this isn't a rule, but preferably when you're over to the right, go all the way over and bring yourself up to sitting. Now we're going to come onto something. Because we'll be cross-legged, I know my body quite well. See what works for you. Could be a cushion, it could be a bolster. I'm going to use a folded blanket, and I'm going to just so I'm bringing my legs into this position. Really, you could do what you really like. Could be legs out in front if you need, and maybe some support underneath your leg if that's what you prefer. We're going to be doing a side-to-side movement, and then I'm going to bring you into that support phase. Let's call it that, where we receive support. So release the arms down the sides of the body. And when you take a breath in, you're going to bring the arms over your head. And as you breathe out, you're going to release them down. Let the shoulders come down as you do this. Nice long necks, fingertips reach the ground. So breath in again. Arms go up and breathe out. Releasing the fingertips. So I don't know if you noticed there, I was breathing out through my mouth. So again, this is all available to you. That feels really nice. Okay, so this time, bringing the arms up, we're going to release one arm down, doesn't matter which, and then lean over towards the hand that's on the ground. Just give yourself a little bit of time here, adjusting through your waist, adjusting through your sit bones, and releasing. And if you want a little bit of movement here, turning the chest down, spinning the heart up, moving the head, keeping the head still. All of this is just a way to explore what feels nice in your body. And a couple more. And we're going to start to rise back up, bringing both arms up and release to the other side. Breathing out as you go and finding again some kind of movement. But as I said earlier, if you need stillness, you can have that too. Okay, we're going to come back up, inhale, both arms up, and then back to the other side. As you breathe out, leaning over. So we're not going to hang around this time. We're going to come back up, switching from side to side, breathing out, placing your hand where you want, looking where you want, breathing in and letting go. Okay, one more. And breathing out. So the arm in the air now, bring it back down and take it to the opposite knee. So if that's too far, by all means, you could put something underneath the elbow, because you're going to use this hand to rest your head on. Yeah. So all of this side of the body, in fact, I'm going to have 2 blocks. All of this side of the body is just going to be resting support. Yeah. Resting. We're going to bring the other arm up, and we're going to allow this shoulder and the side of the neck to be super relaxed. So I don't know if you notice that. I just kind of leant over a little bit more. So notice I don't have the arm directly up. I do. I can feel that in my neck and shoulder. So think of this as a pause. So this is why it's really important to place this upper arm somewhere that's comfortable. You get to really notice what your shoulder blade would like, because you don't want your shoulder blade to be squeezing towards the spine. That wouldn't feel particularly nice. Space is good for our bodies. But I'm going to start to rotate my hand in the air, the wrist. A little bit of movement feels quite nice. I'm going to start to move the elbow a little bit, and then start to move the shoulder a little bit. But as I've been saying, if stillness is for you, stay with stillness. And then reach the arm in the air. Inhale, and then as you exhale, slowly bring yourself up. Just rest your hand somewhere, maybe on your lap. So the shoulder that was in the air, just it's the same thing. You're allowing the felt sense to settle, to find a new place. Let it draw out from you what you don't need. I mean, I really do think at the moment, a lot of us have, you know, tight necks, tight shoulders, just coping with life. Yeah. I kind of see it in people. Shoulders are, you know, lifted, and there's a bracing thing I see in people a lot. I mean, it happens in my body too. I perhaps just notice it a bit more. So as I'm talking, I'm still feeling like a residue here in my body. I did have somebody work on my neck and shoulders yesterday. That might be also why I'm feeling it. Take a couple of breaths in. Releasing out through the mouth if you want to. And then we'll come to the other side. Okay, so any props that you used, you might want to use again. Could be a different configuration completely. Yeah, different side, totally different. So let's just take the arms up first of all. Inhale, and then as you exhale, lean over a little bit. Yeah, inhale back up. Lean over to the other side. And then hopefully this is the elbow that's going to come down and go to the other knee. And it's this headrest, hence the fact you might want to bring things in. Okay, so turn off this underside. Yeah, allow yourself a moment just to let the neck relax, shoulder relax, head. The weight of your head it's a lot. Yeah. And when you're ready, it's the inhale, you're bringing the other arm up, finding like the best place for your arm in the air to almost replicate the same. It's not going to be the same because you are lifting an arm, but you kind of want to replicate, you know, relaxed side of neck, relaxed shoulders as much as you can. And you'll more than likely have a different shoulder one side to the other. You know, we tend to carry things on one shoulder. So if you want to bring movement in, anything, please do. Stay with your breath. Definitely track where this is going in your body. If it's staying locally in the shoulder, that's what you're noticing. If it's traveled down your back, going somewhere else, then this is just information you're looking at. Okay, and then slowly come up, really all the way up with that arm. Bring the other arm overhead. Let's interlace the fingers halfway. So not directly over your head, not directly in front, halfway. Okay, because here you can really spread across your shoulders. And if you want to do this backward movement, then you go for it. Yeah, really fall into your back. And then bring the palms of the hands towards your heart. Take your heart to your hands. So you get a little bit of an arch in your back when you do this. Yeah, so a little bit like a seated cat-cow movement. Breathe out as the palms go away. Breathe in and raise the chest as the hands come forwards. Inhale again. Last time, exhale. And then we'll do the pausing by being seated. So this is the equivalent of your knees knocking together when you were laying down. So just find those sit bones, find relaxed shoulders, nice and relaxed at the side of your necks, and just let those hands sit somewhere comfortably. Just a couple of breaths, really allowing to go what doesn't need to live inside your body. Body. So start to lift your chin. Take that over to one side, one shoulder. Take it down to your chest. Take it to the opposite shoulder. And then all the way up. You're going to go back the way you came. So nice and slow. Shoulder. Chest. Shoulder. Lift it up. One more each way. So I've just popped this in here because tops of the shoulders, you know, if we feel like burdened or whatever at the moment, this is a really nice way to keep the neck long, those muscles long and unscrunched. So when the chin lifts up this time, bring it down. And as you're bringing your chin down, think about the back of the head, kind of pressing into what would be a headrest. Yeah, so it's making the neck feel very long, hopefully. And the tops of the shoulders, hopefully, are feeling like they are spreading out sideways. So you've just given your body a lot of space to live in. Yeah. So when we are tense, like I said earlier, we shrink. And obviously that signals to our nervous system to be activated. So this is the opposite. So you could really use this as a tool to, you know, be in a calmer space. Okay, a couple more breaths. And then let's come on to our hands and knees. Obviously, pad your knees if you need to. We'll do a little bit of cat-cow movement, and then I'd like us to take it into like a cobra movement, and we'll do this all smooth, flowing, slow, yeah, so that you can really judge what you want to do, how much effort you want to make, because it's interesting, this whole concept of yoga being exercise is just something that I don't really buy into at all. The slower we go, sometimes we connect to more muscles and things like that, but it really gives us more in our practice. I believe it gives us opportunities to releasing work like this and other things. So hands slightly forwards of your shoulders so that the shoulder joints are very supported. Knees underneath your hips. You can even have them a little wider. So from a neutral spine, so that's not a dipped back in either direction. It's not curved, it's not dropping down. It's in the middle, it's what feels comfortable. From here, we like to make that spine really nice and long, and that's when we get the curve in it because of how it's constructed. And then the exhale is the reverse, which is really taking the middle back towards your ceiling, drawing in again. Nice inhale, full length. Breathing out, finding the arch. And, you can shift this back if you want to towards a child's pose. And then slowly bring it back up. Inhale. And breathe out. Arching or drawing back. So this time, when you come up, I'd like you to take your knees further back so they're not now underneath the hips, they're further behind you. So if you allow your hands to stay, the hands are in the same position for your cat-cow, you've just walked your knees further back. So notice you're now going to need to come forwards and bring your pelvis, front of your pelvis to the ground and lift up through the chest. Now, if you can't go all that way, don't go all that way, yeah? If you've got a bolster at home, by all means, you could do something like this. Bring in the support. It's the friend. The bolster's the friend, yeah? Go back on the inhale. Sorry, exhale, come forwards on the inhale. Really opening the chest. You might find you want the hands, because of the further apart, the way we're approaching this today, you might feel more comfortable with the hands further apart. So as you're moving in and out with this, and the slow motion of it allows you to sense all of it. That's it. So, bolster, no bolster, we're just going to come to the up cobra, upward dog. It's upward cobra, really. And then bring yourself down to your elbows. So if you've got a bolster, this is just gorgeous, yeah? And yeah, by all means, this is like you leaning on your friend now, literally needing all the support you require from them. And on your elbows, which are just a little bit forwards of your shoulders, let's turn the head in circular movements. And you could do that really slowly. You could do it with your eyes open or your eyes shut down. And as I've said earlier, if you need stillness, by all means, have stillness. And then use your hands to hold your forehead, so fingers go over the top of your head. And just let the weight of you, notice the weight of your head, it's quite heavy. You'll need to adjust your elbows more likely, and you might need to move your shoulders around to find a really comfortable spot. Chin down, I think, here. Have a good couple of long, soothing breaths. And then slowly bring yourself up. Bolster or cushion or whatever it is you're using can remain where it is. How about we bring one leg over the bolster? Again, as support. Quite nice to have high support as well. And the other leg is going to be here in front of you, so the knee is bent. Again, prop, yeah, if you need it. You could also be slightly up on something that suits your, your body. We're going to be leaning over here, no surprise. going in the direction of the support, the friend, yeah. Oh, I just feel like doing this. I'm just going to do that. That feels quite nice. Okay, so hand, the same as the leg. You can just hold the ankle maybe, or if it's the calf, that's fine. So turn and open your chest towards your other knee. And as you inhale, you're going to bring that top arm up and take it over. Now, it doesn't have to go all the way. You could put it on the back of your head. You could drape it over the top of your head. You could just put your hand on the side of your head. Watch that you don't press. Yeah. Or you could just have it on your hip. You don't have to use the arm and the shoulder. I'm just going to leave mine down, I think. I'm feeling this in the waist. Yeah, in the lower back. So you're going at a side angle here. So we will do a forward, one-legged forward fold in a moment. So you have a different feeling. So my area in my body that's needing support is not the leg that's got the bolster underneath it. That's all really comfortable because I've set that up and made it all nice and comfortable. It's in, the side waist and the lower back on the other side. So I've just put my hand there as a form of support. And when I breathe, I can sense my breath moving, muscles. Bringing in space. Okay, so gently bring yourself back up. And then turn your body towards the leg that's got the support. And you're going to fold forwards to that leg. So just totally up to you how far you go And any bit that you hold or not, you could also have something under your sit bones if it feels hard to get over that leg. Yeah, just put something underneath. Equally, you can put more on the leg, on top of the leg. That could be something like, you know, blankets. So the distance to go will be less then. Yeah. And then we'll have an in-breath to bring us up and breathe out. Okay, you could probably just swap your legs around. I'm just going to need to move everything to the other side, otherwise you won't see it so well from the camera angle. So it's the other leg over, yeah. Whatever you're using as a prop. And your other knee is bent. And again, if you need something underneath that knee, that's fine. So remember, we start with the side angle version first of all. Yeah. So the same arm as the leg is just down the leg, and you can use whatever to hold on to. The other arm's going to come up and you're leaning over. And like I said, if I held this for as long as I held the other version, that would be pretty uncomfortable for my body. You know, I might do something over the head like that if I was going to hold it for a long time. But I'm going to put my hand around the lower back again. Interesting, the treatment I had yesterday, even though it was neck and shoulders, I'm feeling it in my lower back in a nice way, but I'm just being kind here. Giving my body the support. And then we'll have a breath. And that's going to bring us up nice and slowly, turning your body towards the leg, straight leg. Yeah, and this is when you're going to fold over and go forwards. And just like last time, if you want to bring any support, it could be different this time, you know. Okay, breathe in. Use your hands perhaps to bring yourself up rather than your back. Okay. And then just come to sit cross-legged or legs out in front. This is our pause, and you're just letting everything settle. Releasing it out through the mouth if you need to. Hopefully you've tracked completely the full sense of both sides of your body. We'll come down now for Shavasana. This will be interesting because you've had a very nurturing practice. You might find that your Shavasana is you access it very quickly today, perhaps. So whatever you need. Yeah, here in the studio, we've got so many props to choose from. Yeah. And if you're at home and you've got an eye pillow, that would be lovely. If you haven't, just place something like a t-shirt or a scarf or something over your eyes. Blocking out the light in Shavasana, I think, is really important for relaxation. So when you come down, the feelings you register in your body, do register them, right? Give yourself a moment. Don't rush to set up your Shavasana. We've got time. How does your back feel? Where in your body did you easily receive support? And that might be a little bit of an eye-opener from the beginning of the class to now. That could be very different. I'm hoping, I'm always hopeful, that that felt gorgeous and that you just instantly went to support yourself. So when you're ready, eye pillow goes across the forehead, not directly over the eyes. And arms can go where you want them to. So at this point of the practice, drop into your breath. Follow in detail what happens in your inhales and how it's different to an exhale. Your breath is arriving and going at its own pace. The inhale creating expansion somewhere in your body. Where is that? What do you feel as you breathe out? Can your breath be the support? Perhaps try holding an inhale softly, like a hug. Relax your diaphragm as you're holding and hugging. And you let the breath go when you want to. Breathe normally. And if you enjoyed that, if that felt really nice and non-tense, maybe try again. When you relax your diaphragm, notice your breath, your in-breath that you're hugging. Notice if it moves to different parts of your body, that you spread it because you've relaxed. It's a friendly hug. Breathe out when you're ready. And that can be through the mouth. It can be with a little bit of energy, if that's, if you hold it a bit too long, sometimes the out-breath can be a bit fast, but then regulate your breath. Go back to the normal inhales and exhales. And one last time, if it feels good for you, hold your breath. Jaws relaxed, shoulders soft. Hold if you can. Let it go when you want. It's quite common that then initiates larger breaths afterwards. So, be careful you don't interpret that as being out of breath. Just regulate. That's your body bringing back equilibrium. Okay, so we're coming to the end, everybody. So wiggle your toes and ankles and fingers and wrists. Maybe stretch the arms in the air. Stretch out your legs. And when you want to bring light back, if you've got your eye pillow on, you can release that. Just rub the forehead from the center to the temples softly. And then knees in. Roll to one side. And we'll just close our practice. So any seated position is fine. We'll take a breath in, bring the arms up, palms together, and then bring them back down to your heart. So when you rest your hands in your heart space, thank your body for being here. Thank your breath for being so responsive and patient. And lastly, I thank you for practicing and being here too. Thank you. Namaste.